Okay, I am hoping I won't get a copyright strike for this video. But hey, it's YouTube, you never can tell. But here's the situation. And I've looked into this. I was waiting until I heard some better news, but unfortunately, this is a little old, but that's because I've been waiting to hear if anything actually gets told, arrest, that kind of thing. But some individuals took over a neighborhood in New York. This is right after the election there where Mondami got elected, but it seems like this was going on before even then. Because I'm going to read you some Facebook comments on the video posting that I'm going to put up here. But here's the situation. There was a neighborhood that bunch of kids, young folks, they weren't kids, they'd be kids to me, but young folks, took over a neighborhood, had a car meet up, and they got violent. Cops didn't even show up for 45 minutes. Now, this seems to be a common thread throughout the city of New York. Now, I have been to New York City, and I also remember growing up there, all the mob violence. Times Square at one point was more X-rated than it was family friendly. I remember all that. And now we've got it back to the point where things are going back downhill. No longer is law and order what's going on in that city. And this is an example of why you don't want to leave places to be controlled by the Democrat Party. There are some Democrats that honestly want to do good, but at the end of the day, they keep appointing all these other Democrats, and it turns into these cities becoming nothing but cesspools of crime, corruption. It just goes downhill. But I'm going to show you this video. Like I said, I am hoping that I am not going to get a copyright strike because, well, you know how YouTube gets. But I'm also on Rumble, I'm also on Facebook, so maybe you'll get to see it all. Like I said, I'm going to read to you some of the comments of the people of New York that are commenting on this. Now, before we get too far into this, I covered things on a federal, state, and local level government. And this is government stuff. This is police not doing their job. I'm not saying it's the police's fault. I'm saying that it's probably something to do with the way there's so much crime they can't handle it all. But hit like and subscribe if you want to know what's going on with your government. Now, also, I've got a link tree down below. It's got a Patreon. Got to plug that. But let's get into the introduction and the video. The founding fathers wanted two things for America. One is they wanted us to cherish our freedom. The other was to think. Because if we're making sure that we're thinking about what's going on and knowing what's going on, then we'll maintain freedom because we'll fight for it ourselves. That's the whole purpose of this channel. To cause you to think so that you know what to do to keep your freedom. Okay, so a violent neighborhood street takeover in Malba, Queens, New York on Sunday, November 23rd, 2025 resulted in a couple being brutally assaulted and a security guard's vehicle being set on fire. The chaos occurred around 12:30 a.m. at an intersection near South Drive and 141st Street, a spot known to attract drivers due to a wide circular intersection. The victims were Blake Ferrer and his wife, by the way, a homeowner who confronted the group after they trespassed on his property. He and his wife were attacked by a mob of about a dozen people, leaving him with a broken nose, ribs, and shoulder. Larry Rush, 59-year-old security company owner, who parked his company car at the intersection to try to block the drivers from doing further damage. Two individuals then set his vehicle on fire using what they believed to be fireworks. Incident began as a car meetup with dozens of vehicles doing donuts and speeding through the quiet residential area. When residents attempted to intervene to protect their property, the situation escalated into a complete melee. Residents who called 911 reported a delayed police response, with some claiming it took as long as 45 minutes for officers to arrive. The NYPD stated the initial responding officer was rerouted to a higher priority call, but once the severity of the Malva incident was recognized, officers were dispatched quickly. City Councilwoman Vicky Palladino visited the scene and shared footage of the aftermath. That's the video that I showed, including the burned out car shell and extensive skid marks. The NYPD has since pledged to increase patrols in the area. One car linked to the incident was later seized by police in the Bronx. Video footage widely circulated online showing a group watching the car blaze and a separate instance of individuals allegedly attacking the homeowner. Police are searching for suspects involved in the assaults. Somehow, I doubt they're going to find them. But one person quoted on Facebook, "Didn't this happen in Islip a while back?" One person said, "Happens all over." Another said, "Yes, maybe last year off of Comac Road. Ridiculous." Last night, they weren't even afraid the cops would come. The replies to that, because the cops don't come, and if they do, they just get told to leave, no consequences. Nice couple of rounds to the engine block. Probably have ghost plates. I guess that's the thing going on there. And they just stood there and watched. I thought the Democrats wanted to keep NYC green. Nowhere near enough cops on patrol at night, early morning in Whitestone, Bayside, College Point areas. Let's see here. Like that, as long as I can remember, my family bought there in the 70s. Bragg will let them out, talking about the attorney general in that area. There was a lot of revving engines at 1 a.m. on the 14th Avenue Whitestone, like they were racing too. So this is what the people in New York City are having to contend with. It also shows you why the people are wanting to leave New York City. They're saying that there's probably like 1 million people leaving New York City. I don't know, but that's what it seems to be. That's what I've been hearing. Here's the problem. At the end of the day, cops can only do so much. Why? Because how many cops are there? And I keep hearing, oh, there's 35,000 cops, whatever, but how many millions of people live in New York City? I can look it up officially, but I can guarantee you that unofficially there are far more than that. And it comes down to the simple fact of they've got so much crime going on in that city now that it's just going to get more and more ridiculous. Not to mention the fact of that you've got the defund police people that still have power in that city. You still have all these liberal groups that every time there's an arrest made, they're trying to sue the cops because they're going to claim that it was something wrong with the arrest. This is what's going on there. The cops are basically getting the bad end of a stick. Now, would I want to live in New York City? No. Been there, didn't really, I mean, I like the food there. I mean, Junior's one of the best, if not the best, or cheesecake that I ever had in my life. I love Reuben's from New York City. Find the right deli and the Reuben's are amazing. But really, I wouldn't want to stay there for any extended amount of time. I have gone throughout the city. I've done the touristy thing. I've done the I've worked there thing. I, this is what you see in New York City, and it's been getting worse. And it's only going to keep getting worse unless we make a stand. Unless the voters actually vote people into office, not people like Mondame, but actual people that are going to fix what is wrong, you're going to continue to see this. But so many people that are voting are protecting their welfare and protecting their food stamps that they're going to vote in the person that's going to keep them from having to work. Well, this is what you see when this happens. Hate saying it that way. I've already said in other videos there are plenty of jobs to be had if people are looking for jobs, but you know. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. I hope that you liked the video. I really do. Hit like and subscribe for me, because I'm going to come out with far more videos, and you get all kinds of chance. Also, don't forget, my link tree is down below. You can get to my Patreon that way, or go to my other stuff. This has been Paul. Have a good day.